Welcome back, class 8, to the online bio classes. We'll continue with the same chapter number 4, control and coordination. In the previous class, we studied that there are two types of control systems in our body. What are they? Nervous system and endocrine system. Nervous system is the one which consists of brain and the spinal cord, along with the nerves which are present throughout the body that helps to conduct message from one part of the body to the other. Whereas endocrine system consists of endocrine glands that secretes chemical messengers known as hormones, which help to regulate or carry out different types of functions. Like the growth hormone helps in the growth of the body. Similarly, the hormones which are released from different types of gland like thyroid gland produces thyroxine hormone, which helps in the metabolism as well as growth of the body. Now today we studied about that nerve cell or neuron is the structural and functional unit of nervous system. Then we have seen the diagram of nerve cell also. I told you to draw it as homework, to draw the diagram of a nerve cell or neuron. Then we studied three types of neurons are there. What are they? Sensory neuron, the one which carry message from the sense organs like eye to the brain or ear to the brain, each called sensory neuron. And those nerve cells or neurons which helps to carry the message from brain and spinal cord to the muscles or glands are called motor nerves. And the third one is association nerves or mixed nerves. They are the one which is found in the spinal cord. They contain both the sensory as well as motor nerves. Now today we have to start with parts of nervous system. Okay, how many types of nervous systems are there? In our body we have three types of nervous system. What are they? Central nervous system, that is called CNS. In short I am writing C for central nervous system. Peripheral nervous system, PNS, and autonomic nervous system, ANS. Only abbreviations I have written. The full form: central nervous system. CNS means peripheral nervous system. ANS means autonomic nervous system. In your book already mentioned on page 69. So first one, CNS, that is central nervous system. Central nervous system. It is made up of two parts for that. What are they? Brain and spinal cord. Brain and spinal cord. These are the two main parts of the central nervous system. We will study about them in detail now only, and then we will move on to the PNS and ANS. So first one, brain. Brain, you know, is the control center of our body, and it is present inside a hard bony box which is known as cranium, cranium, or skull. Okay, it is bony box inside which the brain is present. And our brain is very soft and delicate organ. It is divided into three parts. What are they? The three parts of the brain are cerebrum, cerebrum, cerebrum. The second one is cerebellum, cerebellum, and the third one is medulla oblongata, oblongata, medulla oblongata. Okay, so what are the three parts of the brain? Cerebrum, cerebellum, and medulla oblongata. Now our brain is protected, both brain and spinal cord is protected by an outermost covering. That covering is called meninges, meninges. So what is meninges? The outermost covering of brain and spinal cord. Okay, it is made up of three layers. Outer layer is called dura mater. Inner layer is called, the middle layer is called pia mater, and the inner layer is called dura mater, pia mater, and arachnoid. So three layers. Name is not mentioned, not required here in your book. Now, what is meninges? That only you should know. Meninges is the outermost covering of brain and spinal cord. Means our brain is protected, our spinal cord is also protected by a membrane. That membrane has three layers, and that name of that membrane is meninges. Okay, when infection occurs to this meninges by bacteria, the disease called meningitis is formed, and it is also called the brain disease or brain fever, meningitis. Okay, Now, the surface of brain, it is not smooth, it is highly convoluted, like elevations and depressions are there. Okay, like if I take this one, here are the two cerebral hemispheres. Like the cerebrum, it is made up of two parts which are called cerebral hemispheres, and the surface is highly convoluted like this, ups and downs are there. Okay, elevations are present. Why? Due to the presence of large number of these nerve cells, it is not smooth, it has elevations, there is ridges and furrows. Just like the mountain valleys are there, like this ups and downs, again ups, again down. So like this on the surface of cerebrum also, on the cerebral hemisphere, there are many ridges and furrows. Okay, like elevations and depressions are there. So they are called ridges and furrows. So what is the use of these ridges and furrows on the surface of cerebrum? It increases the surface area of the brain. More the elevations and depressions, that is more the ridges and furrows, more will be the nerve cells present in the brain, and the person will be more intelligent. Okay, so intelligence of a person is associated with the ridges and furrows. So what is the function of cerebrum? Cerebrum is the one which controls, it is that part of the brain, cerebrum is the part of the brain which controls all the different functions, like it controls memory, it controls speech, whatever we learn, whatever speech we give, whatever sight, smell we do, whatever food we taste, or whatever we hear. All these voluntary actions are controlled by cerebrum. Okay, so I was discussing about what is the function of cerebrum. Cerebrum controls all the voluntary actions of our body, like memory, reasoning, thinking, willpower, intelligence. All are controlled by cerebrum. All the voluntary action. Voluntary action means those actions which can be controlled by our brain are called voluntary actions. Those functions or actions that is not under the control of our brain are called involuntary functions. Like we cannot control breathing, heartbeat, it is not under our control, not under the control of our brain. So such actions are called involuntary actions. Now, I had told you, remember that meninges is made up of three layers, and dura mater, arachnoid, pia mater. In between these three layers, a fluid is present, and this fluid is called cerebrospinal fluid. cerebrospinal, cerebrospinal fluid. So what is the function of this cerebrospinal fluid? Cerebrospinal fluid helps to protect the brain and the spinal cord from shock, injury and desiccation. Means it will protect our brain as well as our spinal cord from any type of shock. If you will fall somewhere or meet with an accident, it will protect our brain from those injuries. Alright. Now next we have to do is, already this one, the largest, which is the largest part of the brain? Answer is cerebrum. Okay, and if you see the diagram which is given in your book, the diagram of brain is drawn like this. And this is the spinal cord. Here this much largest part, this one is the cerebrum. Then cerebellum is just a small area, that is called the cerebellum. And medulla oblongata is this part, the lower part. So cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla oblongata. It is given in figure 4.4. You try to draw it as homework and label all the parts, the three parts of the brain, as well as the neurons also you have to draw. Now second one is cerebellum. What is cerebellum? It is the second part of the brain. It is located just below the cerebrum, and it is the one which controls all the involuntary functions of the body. Like two main functions of the cerebellum is, number one, it maintains the balance of our body, and second one is it coordinates all the muscular activity, means which muscle has to contract, which one has to relax. So all the actions of the muscles are coordinated or controlled by cerebellum. So if you have to learn what are the two functions of cerebellum, the answer is number one, it helps to maintain balance of the body. Remember, balancing of the body is also done by our ear, internal ear. So ear also helps to balance the body. Apart from hearing, it also helps to maintain balance of the body. And the second one is cerebellum. That is the part of the brain. It also helps to maintain balance of the body as well as it will control and coordinate all the muscular activities. Now third one and the last part of the brain, the smallest part of the brain is medulla oblongata. It is also called brain stem, and from this only the spinal cord will arise. This part will arise. Okay, from the medulla oblongata only spinal cord will be produced, which is covered by the backbone, which is present in our body. Okay, at the back. So backbone is the covering of spinal cord, which is a part of central nervous system. Now, what is the function of this medulla oblongata? Medulla oblongata is responsible for controlling involuntary actions, means those actions which are not controlled, which are not under the control of our brain, which our brain cannot control, are called involuntary actions. Like I said, breathing, heartbeat, they are not controlled by our brain. So such actions are controlled by medulla oblongata, okay, and peristalsis also. Now next we have to study is spinal cord. The spinal cord diagram is also there in the book, you can see. A spinal cord is a cylindrical structure, means it is a cylindrical structure, cylinder like, a very long. Inside our backbone it is present up to the tailbone. The last one is called the tailbone, where the tailbone is present, starting from the medulla oblongata of the brain up to the tailbone. Many small vertebrae, that is back vertebrae, small bones are present. They are 33 in number. All of them are joined together to form the backbone. Alright. Now it is also protected by outermost covering, which is known as meninges, which is triple layered, that contains a fluid called cerebrospinal fluid. And what is the function of this spinal cord? The spinal cord has nerves, so it will conduct the impulses from all parts of the body to the spinal cord. Means message from all the body parts will come to the spinal cord, and then it is relayed to the brain. Alright. Similarly, if any information has to be given from the brain to other parts of the body, through the brain it will come to the spinal cord, and then from the spinal cord it will be given to rest all parts of the body. Okay. So it is covered by three membranous layers. The meninges, which transmit the sensory impulses from different organs in the body to the brain. So what is the function of this spinal cord? The spinal cord will help to receive the message from different parts of the body, and it will also help to deliver the message to different parts of the body through sensory and motor nerves. Okay. And the second function of a spinal cord, it is the control center of many reflex actions that we'll study later on. What is reflex action? A quick involuntary response to a stimulus is called reflex action. Like if you touch a hot object, immediately you pull away your finger, in which brain is not involved. The decision is taken by the spinal cord to contract our muscles of the arm so that we can pull away the hand, and this results in contraction of arms and pulling away of the hand. So such type of action, which is very fast, involuntary, means in which brain is not involved, response to a stimulus, is called reflex action. So next we have to study is the peripheral nervous system. First one we studied central, then we studied the peripheral nervous system. What is peripheral nervous system? It is made up of all the nerves which arises from brain and spinal cord. Okay, the nerves that arise from the brain are called cranial nerves, because the word cranium is used for the brain box. The bony box is called cranium. So nerves which arises from the brain, they are called cranial nerves. C-R-A-N-I-A-L, cranial nerves. How many nerves are there? There are 12 pairs of cranial nerves. It consists of 12 pairs of cranial nerves, and what they transmit, that is, they carry both the sensory and the motor impulses. That is, they carry the message from the sense organs to the brain, or from the brain to the sense organs. Okay. Then next we have the spinal nerves, the second type of nerves. Nerves which arises from the spinal cord, like I had told, many nerves are coming, arising from it. These nerves are mixed nerves and they are called spinal nerves. So both the cranial nerves, there are 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Like you see, 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pair, 4 pair, like this 31 pairs are there. Understood? So spinal nerves and cranial nerves together they make the peripheral nervous system. The second type of nervous system I have said, peripheral nervous system consists of cranial nerves and spinal nerves. There are 12 pairs of cranial nerves and there are how many pairs of? 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Okay? So in the next class we can continue with the autonomic nervous system. So as homework you can draw the diagram and write the definition of those cranial nerves, spinal nerves, and that chart also you can draw which I had given earlier, that classification of 3 types of nervous system in human beings. Okay? And the next class will be interactive class. So that time I will continue with the lesson. So you can watch the video, like and comment. Thank you.